Now we will be studying the bone development, a brief overview of bone development, that how the bone is being developed. So the bone develops via two methods, intramembranous ossification and the endochondral ossification. The intramembranous ossification is done in the flat bones. So the mesenchymal stem cells first, they arranged in the embryonic life. Okay, at the end of embryonic life, all the mesenchymal stem cells where the flat bones are should be made, they arrange themselves. Okay, and at the start of fetal period, the mesenchymal cells or the osteoprogenitor cells transform into osteoblasts, and these osteoblasts secrete the organic matrix, which is called the osteoid. Okay, the organic matrix is secreted the osteoid, and this osteoid is then calcified. When this osteoid is perfectly calcified, now the osteoblasts, which are the cells, are now trapped in the lacunae. These are called as osteocytes, and some more mesenchymal cells are differentiating into osteoblasts. Okay. Then some capillaries invade, and the trabecular appearance is made with the help of osteoclasts, the bone eating cells. And at the end, a mature bone is formed, that is the mature flat bone, the outer periosteum, then the compact bone, and then the spongy bone. Okay? It was the intramembranous ossification for the flat bones. Now the endochondral ossification is relatively simpler. In this type of ossifications, the mesenchymal stem cells, which are the embryonic connective tissue, the mesenchymal cells, first develop into the cartilage. Okay, first they form a cartilage, and then in this cartilage, towards the center, the perichondrium, the outer membrane of cartilage, becomes periosteum. Okay, and some cells are what we can say are modified into osteoblasts. Now the remaining cartilage cells then can die by apoptosis, and the bone collar is formed. Okay. Then the developing blood vessel invades, and this developing blood vessel then carries along with it some mesenchymal cells, the osteoprogenitor cells, and these osteoprogenitor cells start secreting the bone matrix. Okay. And the bone matrix is then deposited. The osteoclasts also arrive and eat up some matrix, and the medullary cavity is formed. Okay. Now this blood vessel appearing is forming the primary ossification center. Okay. This is the primary ossification center because most of the bone is developed from the primary center. That is why it is the primary. Okay. At the end, the secondary ossification centers appear at the epiphysis. It is not shown here, but here it is shown. At the epiphysis, at the end of the bone, the secondary ossification centers become prominent, and they help in the maturation of the ends of the bones. Okay? So the primary ossification centers are present in the fetal life, and secondary ossification centers appear after the intrauterine life. In the extrauterine life they appear, except that of femur. The femurs secondary ossification centers appears in the 9th month. Okay, the last month of the embryo, the fetal life. Okay, so the endochondral ossification is for the short bones, and as well as the long bones, as well as most of the irregular bones. Okay, the irregular bones as well as the short bones as well as the long bones develop from the endochondral ossification, and the flat bones develop from the intramembranous ossification. Okay. And the young long bone has a cartilage plate left. Okay, this area of cartilage, which is from here, and at the end here, is not ossified till the puberty, because this area helps in the growth of the bones. We are growing continuously. It is the function of this area. In this area, the cartilage is deteriorating and the new bone is formed. That is why the bone is growing in length. Okay, continuously.